Hi, I'm Curtis Morton. I'm a senior product manager for the game-based learning products team. And I'm having a great reInvent. I went to the Sphere last night. It was amazing. But I'm going to show you something even more amazing than the Sphere, and that's AWS Cloud Quest. So what is AWS Cloud Quest and how does it ignite growth with hands-on skill building? So it is a game-based product that teaches hands-on solution building, first and foremost. It's for anyone who's seeking to learn about the cloud that has no prior experience. So we're going to get into Cloud Quest. I'm going to show you, talk about a little bit more about what it can do for partners, and then we're going to do a live demo of Cloud Quest in action. You're going to see it live. So let's begin. So Cloud Quest is available on AWS Skill Builder. We have a game-based learning section that includes Cloud Quest, we have Industry Quest, we have Escape Room for exam prep, we have AWS Card Clash, which is new, a card game, and we have a recertification version of Cloud Quest as well. So we have lots of game-based products that come with everything else that Skill Builder has. So you have lots of options about how you want to learn. Now let's talk about the value of training for certification for AWS training partners. So I'm not going to go through all of the benefits of this, of training. We know that training benefits organizations, increases your growth and profitability, increases your ROI, you achieve better outcomes, and you future-proof your organization with knowledge about the cloud skills that you've acquired and deploying them. You have better conversations with your customers as well. So training is very important for your organization. But a lot of times, there's pain points with assigning training. Sometimes you can't get employees to actually take the training. A learning admin will assign a training and check on the progress, and they'll find that they didn't complete the training. So there's a lot of pain points with this. It helps employees translate training operations, and how do you validate the skills that employees have learned? How do you motivate employees to fully engage in training and anticipate the types of cloud skills they're going to learn? So there's all sorts of pain points that organizations have. So how do you solve that, right? So what if you could create a training that is easy to set up, time flexible, easy to deliver, collaborative, immersive, and free? How could you do this? What could that solution be? And that's what we have AWS Cloud Quest. We have a free version of Cloud Quest called Cloud Quest Cloud Practitioner that's available right now on Skill Builder. It contains 12 solution building assignments and is designed to teach hands-on solution building. You can develop a career in the cloud with no prior experience, and you build real-life solutions. So what we try to do, and I know this is game-based, and some of you are probably skeptical about game-based learning, but we designed Cloud Quest to simulate an experience. What is it like to be a solutions architect? What is it like to be a serverless developer? So you choose a role, and you have to take on that role and that responsibility in a fictional city. So you have fictional customers that you have to support. So that creates a responsibility, that creates engagement, and it helps customers or learners fully invest in what they're learning, because they have to deliver real life solutions to fictional customers, if you will. So this is the basic flow of Cloud Quest. You start off with a customer conversation. So you create an avatar, you can choose a solutions architect, you can choose a serverless developer, whatever interests you. We have 7 additional roles. And during that customer conversation, you are developing a skill that a solution architect has, which is translating a business problem into a technical solution. So throughout that conversation, you find out what the business problem is and what AWS services and solutions you need to deploy to solve that problem. Then after that conversation, you would move on to something called the Solution Center in step 2. Inside of the Solution Center is a virtual place where you get the architecture diagram, and we give you guidance through that. So we walk you through each step of the architecture in step 2. And throughout that process, you can also watch videos about the services within the architecture if you're not familiar with them. So you get to learn about the solution you're about to build. Then we move on to step 3, where you actually build a real solution from within Cloud Quest. So you're building on the AWS console using the same tools that a solutions architect would use. And then you have image-based guidance. So we give you the images and step-by-step instructions. So this is really unique to solution building with labs, where you get to see exactly what you're going to do in the console. And then you can launch the AWS console directly from Cloud Quest, and it launches in a separate browser tab. And finally, in step 4, you're going to do one more thing. After you build in step 3, you've built one part of a complete solution, but in step 4, you're going to add onto it and build a second part, but this time without guidance. So we remove some of that guidance, and we force you to remember what you did in step 3, and then apply that knowledge. So you have to pay attention in step 3. You can't just walk through and click through steps. You have to pay attention, because you're going to apply what you learned in step 4 without the guidance, and then you validate. So when customers validate a solution on their own in something we call do-it-yourself, that's where the fun is to me, because that's very satisfying to customers. They solve something on their own. They can take that knowledge and apply it in the real world. They're not just following steps, they're doing things on their own, they're learning how to build real solutions. And that is the goal of Cloud Quest. It teaches you how to build. Now we have 7 roles total. The Cloud Practitioner role is free on Skill Builder. You go to skillbuilder.aws and you can go start and try with the Cloud Practitioner role. But if you have a specific knowledge area, if you have some experience, you can choose Solutions Architect, you can choose Serverless Developer, you can choose Machine Learning, and you can start down that path. And we have curated assignments specific to those learning domains. So it's not just for new learners. If you have experience, you can do these roles, and you earn a real AWS credential, a certified badge that you can share with your customers and colleagues on credly.com. So you earn a badge for completing all of the assignments in each of these roles. Now, here's where I was talking about something that's easy to set up and easy to deliver. We have something called Cloud Quest Tournaments that's within Cloud Quest. So even with the free version, you can create a time-based event within Cloud Quest where you would create a sort of a game day, and it would create a leaderboard, and you can share this publicly with an event code that people would join. So the people that join your event, anything that they do in Cloud Quest would be scored on this leaderboard. And it takes about 5 minutes to set this up. And you can do this on the free version of Cloud Quest right now. So if you have customers or partners that want to create an event and want to learn about cloud, you can do a Cloud Quest tournament, set it up, share out the code, everyone joins, and they learn together, collaborate in teams or individually, and have a fun event where you can award prizes, gift cards, and make it something that's really special as they learn together. So if we have time, I'm going to show you how to do this live. Now, we also have additional game-based learning products for industries. We have Industry Quest for financial services, we have Industry Quest for healthcare, and we just released Industry Quest for manufacturing and automotive. So these learning experiences are specific to these industries. We have specific solution building assignments for them. If you have partners in a specific industry, I would recommend you show them this, because they can use these industry solutions to practice implementing them to see how they would work, and then implement them later at their own organization. So definitely check out Industry Quest. This is great for partners in a specific industry. Now, why do we do game-based learning? Because we found with studies that they consume more content. And this study was done by the Technology Services Industry Association, and it showed that learners that are immersed in a game-based learning environment consume 3 to 4 times more content. Now, why do they consume more content? It's because they have an assignment, they have a responsibility, right? So they're more engaged, more invested, and that's why they consume more content with Cloud Quest. Now, this is from a quote from a AWS partner. They were talking about how the hands-on skill building in AWS Cloud Quest gave them a chance to put this into practice. So following the cloud practitioner track, they were able to gain more hands-on skills with Cloud Quest. With the solution architect role, they can, many of the partners use Cloud Quest to advance in the solutions architect associate exam. So they felt it was a great way to learn while they were in a program for solutions architect. Here's what some other partners are saying. It's a fun and engaging tool for interactive learning, and it allows engineers and partners to practice and gain confidence and experimentation in the AWS cloud environment. It also helps Zalora drive experimentation and innovation with their projects with AWS Cloud Quest. Now, one of the things that we do is we provide more than just a simple lab. We don't just give you lab steps that you follow blindly. We give you a solution center. We give you a business problem. We give you videos. We give you a do-it-yourself process. We give you quizzes, service cards, challenges. So it's not just following lab steps. It's more about a system of learning that surrounds the lab. So when you pick a specific role in Cloud Quest, the quizzes, the videos, the challenges, they're all related to that learning domain. So you're not just getting a lab, you're getting much more. We call it a game-based solution lab. So that's one of the benefits of using Cloud Quest, you get much more. And we also have generative AI solutions within Cloud Quest inside of the machine learning role. So we have an introduction to generative AI, another one about fine-tuning LLMs, and we also have a solution for building apps faster with Code Whisperer. So we try to cover all of the solution areas, whether it's generative AI, whether it's serverless, whether it's security, everything that you can find in other solutions, you'll find it in Cloud Quest as well. Now, I've already talked about a lot of these benefits. The augmenting cert preparation, we have a risk-free console environment, increased engagement, we've talked about that. But the curated learning paths, all of the things that I showed you, the roles that I showed you, the role for solutions architect, for serverless, for machine learning, they were created by experts at AWS, architects, developers, TAMs. These are the people that curated these special learning paths that you can follow along and have specific assignments that follow a specific path all the way down when you go from a foundational level of knowledge all the way to an intermediate and up to advanced level of knowledge as you go down these learning paths. Now, if you don't want to follow these paths, you can do something on your own. If you have a team subscription, you can customize and create your own learning path using our learning path creator. So instead of following one of those 7 roles, you can take all of the assignments available in Cloud Quest and rearrange them with our customized learning path tool in any order that you want. So if you're onboarding employees for security, you can take all of the security related assignments, put them together in one specific learning path, and then assign that to just those employees. This is great for onboarding for a specific knowledge area, and they can take that training together and you can track their progress. You can do that within Cloud Quest if you have a team subscription. A very powerful tool, the customized learning path. Now let's get into a demo to see how it works. I'm going to show you, maybe we can create a tournament really quickly. All right, so I am in Cloud Quest. This is my character. I've already chosen a role. With Cloud Quest, you can control in different ways. There's a camera, you can move around with a unicorn. This is the fun elements, but you don't have to do this. There's different play styles. You do not have to be a gamer. Actually, most of the people that use Cloud Quest are not gamers. You can use something called the XR device at the bottom right. When I click on the XR device, I get a list of the assignments that I have, deploying RESTful APIs, DNS, backing up data, and I also have all of the other features. So the XR device is kind of like the main conduit to everything in Cloud Quest. If I click on the roles map, it'll show me all of the roles in Cloud Quest. The solutions architect was what I chose. If I click on an assignment, it shows the learning objectives, the business problem, the services I'm going to interface with. If I click on another area, do that real quickly, click on machine learning, I can go and check out the generative AI solutions as well. You can see the learning objectives and all of that. So this is based on real training. You're going to actually build these solutions within Cloud Quest. So what do I do next? When I choose a role, one of the fictional characters in Cloud Quest is going to give me an assignment. And I'm going to go back to my XR device. So in my XR device, I can click on an assignment and I can just hit continue. And it's going to take me to the solution center. So before you build a solution, you have to learn about a solution. Right? So this solution diagram gives you guidance on how this architecture works. So as I cycle through, we explain how this works, how the services interconnect, how the data is flowing. And then if I go to video concepts, I can watch a video about the services within the solution. And this is like a whiteboard style video based on what a solutions architect would do when he whiteboards on a whiteboard to diagram a solution. And these are optional. You can watch them at any time. Now in the planning section, I'm going to see all of the tasks that I have to do, what I'm going to do in the practice and what I'm going to do in a do-it-yourself. And then in the practice section, this is where I'm going to build. So I can launch the AWS console right from within Cloud Quest. If I click the Start Lab button, I'm going to get an open AWS console button. So when I click that, it launches in a separate browser tab and logs me in automatically. You never ever have to use your own personal account, even with the free version. So this will log you in, and it has an AWS Labs account, and it will shut down automatically at the end of the session. So now I'm going to use the image-based instructions, and it's going to show me exactly what I need to do. So I follow along, and I'm going to build one part of the solution with guidance. So this is the guidance that we give you on every single solution lab in Cloud Quest. So you're going to know exactly what to do. Now when you've built that first part, you're going to move over to the do-it-yourself section. And here we're going to say, hey, you need to do a little bit more. You're going to have to add an additional component to this using these do-it-yourself activities here. And we're going to check to make sure that you did it. So you must validate that you built it using the same environment. So what you did in practice here, you're also going to do the same thing in do-it-yourself. So if I put in a fake URL, and I click validate, it's going to check to see if I actually built the API gateway URL, which I didn't do anything. But as you can see, the validation failed because it's actually going to have APIs. We have APIs that go out and check in the console to make sure that you did it. And that's the basic premise of Cloud Quest. When you validate this, this is where the gratification happens. This is where customers are very satisfied that they were able to solve this on their own. Now, really quickly, in the last 20 seconds, I'm going to show you about Cloud Quest tournaments. So I created this tournament yesterday, and this is the tournament code. So I did this in 5 minutes, and you can share this with your customers and partners. When you create a tournament, you share the code, they join, they'll be added to this leaderboard, and then you can compete together. Because whatever you earn in Cloud Quest, would be counted on this tournament score. And that's all I have today. That's my time. Thank you for attending, and I appreciate your support. You can, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to the end slide. If you want to contact me, I'm on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, please come up, and happy to answer any of them.